Homes for Heroes Foundation came to Winnipeg, Manitoba a little over 4 years ago. And they spoke to Mayor Bowman and his executives. And Homes for Heroes are building in Canada now tiny home community for veterans. After spending nearly 6 months in Winnipeg, Mayor Bowman and his advisors turn away Homes for Heroes idea to build here in Winnipeg because Sergeant Tommy Prince, died here homeless, just like that fellow died here homeless on the street. So they wanted to make Winnipeg and use Winnipeg as a shining example to do something different. Mayor Bowman refused, turned the guys away. We found land, Battery Street, Sergeant Tommy Prince on Salkirk and Battery. There's a piece of land there, and that piece of land was designated back in World War I and World War II housing for veterans. The city of Winnipeg bulldozed that land in the 70s because of badly kept, badly run down. A section of that piece of property is now Flora Place. So we say to the community that we are looking for 1 acre on the west side. The west side, the empty land right now. We're looking for 1 acre on the west side in which we could designate as a pilot project for Homes for Heroes. And I propose that we need to take it a step further and use their model to solve the problem of homelessness, because it is a fact that if you and I were to embark on a campaign to get every single individual that needs a roof over their head, housing, we would actually save on every ambulance bill that is called for these folks on the street. We would save on any fire and paramedics that is called. And the general public is not aware of the fact that we are the one paying for it. Okay, it comes out of our tax dollar every time that these services are used or utilized. So if we find a way to prevent them being used on every ounce of every inch of time, then there is a tremendous saving. The federal government knows it, the provincial government knows it, and the city of Winnipeg have the facts that state. Mayor Bowman was given the document that Tommy Prince Jr. and I walked the street of Selkirk Avenue. We knocked on all the doors that are adjoining the property. We got 75% of the people saying, that's a great idea, let's do it. We gave it to Mike Packerton when he was leaving. He said it's not his call anymore. So we gave it to Vivian Santos. So and Tommy Prince Jr. and I presented it at City Hall, gave it to Mayor Bowman and the councillors. They all know about it. Every single councillor is aware of what I'm telling you. They do nothing. During the last election, I tried to get CGOB to even open the conversation. I tried to get CTV to open the conversation. I tried to get City News to open the conversation. They are paid by the elite of the city not to raise this issue. So after 4 months of me badgering CGOB, they told me not to call them again because I was harassing their staff. All I wanted to do was get an opportunity to say we can do better. We don't have to be crime capital. We can do something different than that. We don't have to have homeless people on the street. And Mayor Bowman tried when Sergeant Tommy Prince was coronated at the National Park out in Fort Garry. Tommy Prince Jr. called out Mayor Bowman then, and he did nothing about it. So if he is going to try and come up with a lip service for this, shame on him. As a mayor of the city, his role and responsibility is to take care of the inhabitants and take care of the people of Winnipeg. $28 million was given to True North. In 2017, the executive of True North says they do not need the money. If they don't need the money, Mr. True North, Give us back our $28 million and let us build some tiny homes. Or better yet, like I said, when I did a podcast on Woodstock on the Couch when I was running for mayor in 2018, we have enough derelict buildings that sit idly by. Why not take that $28 million and create a housing first initiative? Every single housing first initiative organizer in the city of Winnipeg knows me, know that I run for mayor, know that I also wanted to be the 8th city, not the first, not the second, not the third, but if we were to end homelessness, we would be the 8th city to do it. Yet still, not one of them supported my campaign to end this. Then you have to ask yourself the question, why not? And to me, it is because it is filled with too many political yes people for the NDP party. And so federally, Bill Blakey, before he became the MP, was all over Housing First Initiative. Now he's elected. What have he done? Same question I asked Pat Martin, what has he done for people with mental health? And instead of answering the question, he calls me name. This is what's been going on. Politicians have been lying to us. The mayor of the city has been lying to us. The Robert Falcon will let know as he jumping on this issue, trying to make himself look like he was there for 4 years. It would take just the willingness of a single member, either at the provincial level, at the federal level, or at the city level. And a lot of folks will try to tell us that, housing is an issue that is for the provincial government, or housing is an issue for the federal government. That is what they want us to believe, so that they can sit and, like Bowman says, I sent a letter to the premier and got no response, and the premier is gonna blame the city, and the premier blame the Fed. That's what they want. Here are the facts. Medicine Hat. It takes individuals at the council level to make the change. So don't listen and don't buy into no argument that either a city council or the mayor tells you that it cannot be done without federal help or provincial help. That is the worst kind of con that there is. We don't need to do it. Minus 30 degrees should tell everybody, including the mayor of Winnipeg, you have 2 more years to serve, not to get rich, nor not to give your friends and cronies money, but to serve the people. For God Almighty's sake, and that's the least you can do, is you are being paid to serve the people. The least you can do, instead of, no, you know what I see is happening? He wants to project himself. Mayor Bowman trying to project himself as the First Nation person who run, and it's some big title for him. Mr. Bowman, I gotta tell you, that don't impress me much. You know what impressed somebody like me is that you solve some basic fundamental principles to help people. Not to make yourself look like you're some genius, because if you were a genius, you would have solved the problem of housing. And it can be done. Other cities have done it. So we should take the lead. We had the chance, we had the opportunity. Homes for Heroes Foundation, I invited him to speak with Kevin Klein 2 years ago. Homes for Heroes came here with their own dime, their own time, and on my request, spoke to Kevin Klein 2 years ago. To date, nothing has done. It's a big circle. They're pretending. The Manitoba Métis Federation have millions of dollars that they take and buy properties all over the place, which is not providing housing for their people, not providing housing for nobody. Why? They have land in front of them that looks out their window. What are they waiting on? I tell you what they're waiting on. They're waiting on people like yourself, Noel, and CJOB, and everybody to start calling them out on a regular basis, and then they'll get embarrassed and shame, and then they'll do something about it. They need to know that we're not all fools. Bob Marley sing a song, okay, that says, They think we're ignorant, that everything they have told us is what they have teach us. But we're not ignorant, for every time they can reach us through political strategy, they keep us hungry. And when we gonna get some food, our brother have to be our enemies. Ambush in the night. If you listen to that song, you'll know this is all a game for them. And that's a shame.
Don, may I interrupt you? After the city turned down or did nothing on the project, did you approach or did you send the same proposal to the province or federal government in the federal government level?
Tommy Prince Jr. and I met with Kevin Lamoureux. Because when I see that they're not doing anything and they're trying to blame the city, we met in Kevin Lamoureux office on Kuwaitman. We told him the same thing, and Kevin himself as a veteran understood it, and he says, yeah, it's something we're gonna do. But again, it's talk. It's talk. I have mentioned this to as many people as I possibly can, and all that they're doing is they promise on us lip service while people are dying on the street. How can you have a drop-in center that opens from 10 till 5 or from 9 till 5 when the coldest times are overnight? What are you leaving people for? This whole thing was a sham to begin with, and Mayor Bowman should be ashamed of himself.
Don, what can we do? I know that the project has been the proposal has been turned down, but what is the where is it at now, and what can we do as an ordinary Winnipegger?
If that fellow did not die on the street, I guarantee you the Facebook post that I've been posting would not have gone any kind of attraction. But now that he has died on the street, a lot of people say, oh, Don, I didn't even know you ran the last election. We opened a campaign office for 6 months on Portage Avenue. CJOB came to our send Global TV send their reporter to my campaign office. And they never mentioned the fact that I ran. They never mentioned my platform. And my platform was simple: end homelessness, sports capital instead of crime capital, and no more taxing other people. Nobody wants to talk about these things. When I go in front of any kind of event to create news, what do? They make sure they don't even show up. Barclay Keeve, see who is paid by the taxpayers for CBC, came to my campaign office and sat with me for about 2 hours, or less than an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and never mentioned me once in the debate. Even though the first night of the debate, I saw him the following morning, and he said, Don, guess what? You actually won the first debate. That's what people are saying. But no, don't mention Don Woodstock, because they want you, the general public, to think that I have no brains. I have no sense. You know, I am just a fringe candidate. Well, guess what? This fringe candidate have more proposal on the table for a forward progressive thought process than they do. So if I am fringe, they are con.
Don, what is your last question to you before I let you go? But before I let you go, though, we would like to invite you again to discuss this further, and because we want to follow what will happen to this. I know that Kevin Klein is always watch this show, and he has been a guest as well. And maybe we can ask the councilors, not only Kevin Klein but the other councilors, as to their comments on what happened to this proposal that you submitted. What is your message to the council, especially to Brian Bowman?
The Executive Policy Committee, 7 councillors plus 2, is the most corrupt policy that any administration can put into place at the city of Winnipeg. That is the main problem why a lot of these councillors, even if they want to support this, they have to think twice about it. because they don't want to lose their $23,000 a year extra salary. This is where the crux is. I said we need to get rid of that 7+2 majority that the mayor has, because it's a way of bribing councillors to keep quiet on these issues. So they are gagged, and the only thing they can say yes to is what the mayor wants. That is corruption in itself, especially the fact that he is on less than 2 years and he doesn't have to come back to the general public for any kind of recourse or any kind of accountability. They need to find a way to put a motion on the floor that asks the provincial government that has jurisdiction over the city of Winnipeg to step in and prevent that level of corruption to continue. And then we can have a discussion on the floor where people get a chance to vote on issues rather than vote on something Mayor Bowman wants. That is where the problem is. We can solve that problem by doing one out of two things. Get any one of these councillors to ask the provincial government to step in, because it's a dereliction of duty for them not to be able to give voice to the people. I am a taxpayer. This proposal is on the table, and they know who Home for Heroes is. I have copied them on everything that I have told you. They are fully aware. Every single councillor is aware of what I've just told you, and their refusal to do it is because they don't want to lose their extra $23,000. They get the salary already, but because they're on EPC, they get an extra $23,000. And so the people who are speaking up are the people who are non-EPC member. And that is where the issue is. They don't have enough votes to override the 7+2, which is 9. So if 5 or 4 or 6 of them even want to talk about something, Mayor Bowman have enough vote to vote it down. And Kevin Klein will try, and he'll spin his wheel and spin his wheel. But what Kevin Klein and Councillor Klein and Councillor Janice and others need to do is to bind together. The non-EPC members need to bind together and put a proposal to a motion on the floor, which will be defeated, but they need to write a letter to the provincial government and says, this model is corrupt, it doesn't give voice to the people, and we need to change it immediately. They haven't done so yet, and I wonder why. What are they waiting on?
Thank you very much, Don, for your time. We'll talk to you again, sir. All the best.